Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Days after Supreme Court's scathing takedown of West Bengal government and what the court called were manipulated fraud appointments of 25,000 teachers by Mamata government, the Chief Minister roared today. In a dramatic sequence of events, not only did Mamata Banerjee meet the protesting teachers who now are left with invalid jobs despite government appointment letters, in fact, threatened and challenged the Supreme Court as well. She said she is ready to be jailed if someone penalizes her, that she isn't stone-hearted and can even be jailed for saying this but doesn't care, alleging that her name was being dragged into something about which she had no inkling of. It was almost a year ago that the Calcutta High Court cancelled the appointments, struck them down after they found selection process to be fraudulent. This was a case, of course, that even divided the High Court politically. It was few years ago that Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay ordered an investigation by the Central Bureau of Investigation into the alleged irregularities. Remember, eventually he joined the BJP and contested the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And TMC went hammer and tongs, accusing the court of a politically motivated judgment. But Supreme Court, after a year, has upheld the Kolkata High Court judgment. Entire selection process has been vitiated and tainted beyond resolution is what the court upheld last week. In fact, Supreme Court went on to say that manipulations and frauds on a large scale, coupled with the attempted cover-up, have dented the selection process beyond repair and partial redemption. The credibility and legitimacy of the selection has denuded. In fact, the Supreme Court ordered states. It very clearly states, the order clearly states that there has been rank jumping, out-of-panel appointments, appointments of non-recommended candidates and manipulation, destruction of OMR scores. Well, raising massive questions not only on our education system, but politically motivated appointments under governments, but also questions around the political dividends. Remember, Bengal is set for polls mid-next year. All right, and I'm being joined by my guests at this point. I'm being joined by Rajshri Lahiri, who's a spokesperson for BJP. Tausif Ahmed Khan, lawyer and political analyst, should be joining us shortly. Aditya Pratap, who's a lawyer, joins us, as well as Suman Biswas, who's a protesting teacher, joins us as well. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Well, let me first straight come to you, Mr. Suman Biswas. Thank you for your time. Suman Biswas ji, आप हमें बताइए, ममता बनर्जी आप लोगों से आज मिली, आप लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, आपसे आके चीफ मिनिस्टर मिली, आपका क्या रिस्पांस है ममता बनर्जी ने जो बोला है उसके साथ?
देखिए थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड में जाना पड़ेगा। 2024 वो 22 अप्रैल 2024 कोलकाता महामान्य हाईकोर्ट हमारा जो 25,000 25,753 वो जो असिस्टेंट टीचर्स एंड ग्रुप सी ग्रुप डी एसएससी 2016 का पैनल टोटल कैंसिल कर दिया, क्योंकि इतना घोटाला हुआ द चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल एंड हर फुल कैबिनेट एंड द सेंट्रल स्कूल सर्विस कमीशन जो लोग नियोग करता है वो हमको रिकमेंड देता है, जो अथॉरिटी वो ऑटोनोमस बॉडी है, इतना घोटाला किया। एक्स एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर अभी तक जेल में है, पार्थ चटर्जी एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर जेल में, इतना घोटाला किया, हम लोगों को होमलेस कर दिया कोलकाता हाईकोर्ट में। हम लोग संग्रामी यौथ मंच से हम लोग रिक्वेस्ट किया जो हमारा नौकरी सेव कीजिएगा, इसलिए हम लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला ठान लिया एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड अदर्स वैलिड कैंडिडेट वो लोग भी मामला कर दिया सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। लॉन्ग टर्म सुनानी हुआ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एंड 10 फरवरी 2025 लास्ट हियरिंग हुआ सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। 3 अप्रैल 2024 राय आया। क्या राय आया? पूरा पैनल खारिज कर दिया, लेकिन वहां पर है 6,280 पर्सन दोज हु इनवैलिड। कैसे इनवैलिड? वो लोग इतना घोटाला किया आउट ऑफ पैनल, देयर पैनल का बाहर है, रैंक जाम लाइक किसी का रैंक 2 है उसको सप्रेस करके जिसका 67 है 80 है उसको नौकरी मिला एंड
Suman
panel
Biswas.
expert and OMR manipulation. Big question. OMR manipulation. अर्थात जीरो
Suman Biswas.
ब्लैंक OMR शीट,
Suman Biswas.
उसको असिस्टेंट टीचर,
Suman Biswas.
जो लोग यस, हाँ
सुमन
हाँ,
बिस्वास, एक बात बताइए, आपको अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर मिला था? आपका अभी आप अभी टीचर हैं या आप उनमें से हैं जिनका कैंसिल कर दिया गया है?
यस यस यस, हम असिस्टेंट टीचर है लाइफ साइंस 19 सेक्शन में, हम असिस्टेंट टीचर है। हम आ रहा है दीदी, आज वो जो 3 अप्रैल 2024 हमारा टोटल पैनल खारिज हो गया। ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल उन्होंने अनाउंस किया है नेताजी इंडोर कोलकाता का एक ऑडिटोरियम, वहां पर वो जो वैलिड कैंडिडेट है उसके लिए वो बातचीत करेगा। लेकिन हम लोग देखा जाए, हम लोगों को कहने के लिए कुछ टाइम ही नहीं है। ओनली ममता बनर्जी, हमारा ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर, उन्होंने ही संबोधित कर दिया। उन्होंने बोला जे हम लोग वैलिड को किसी को नौकरी नहीं जाएगा, लेकिन लास्ट में उन्होंने बोला जो लोग इनवैलिड है हम देख लेंगे। हम कौन शर्त के लिए इनवैलिड कैंडिडेट को साथ चीफ मिनिस्टर खड़ा हो रहा है? हमारा एक बिग क्वेश्चन है। हम चीफ मिनिस्टर को एक लेटर दिया है चीफ मिनिस्टर को, जो चीफ मिनिस्टर आप जो वैलिड कैंडिडेट है उसको सेव कीजिएगा, उसको नौकरी सेव कीजिएगा। एक वैलिड कॉन्क्रीट लिस्ट वो आप पब्लिश कीजिएगा। एंड सेंट्रल स्कूल सर्विस कमीशन का जो वेबसाइट है वहां पर वो जो ओएमआर शीट है ना, सारी ओएमआर शीट वो मिरर इमेज वो अपलोड कीजिएगा। ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर, वो जो ट्रूथ का सामना सामनी होने के लिए उसका दिक्कत है। हाँ
सुमन जी, आप मुझे एक बात बताइए, ममता बनर्जी कह रही है कि उनके नाम को घसीटा जा रहा है, इसमें उनका कोई रोल ही नहीं है। उनका कहना है कि लेफ्ट और बीजेपी, ये दो संगठन, ये दो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज जो हैं, ये गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं, मिस इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं। आप किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को बिलोंग करते हैं?
नहीं, हम किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से बिलोंग नहीं करते हैं। ये सरासर झूठ है। चीफ मिनिस्टर अगर वो जो इलेक्शन आता है तब बोलता है हम 2292 कैंडिडेट में हम कैंडिडेट, हमको देखकर वोट दीजिए। अगर कभी कहा घोटाला हो गया, वो ऑनरेबल एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर वो जेल में है, बोला हम तो नहीं जानते, उसका एसबी है, उसका आईबी है, सब कुछ जानता है ममता बनर्जी, हमारा ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर। वो जो दोषारोप कर रहे हैं वो विरोधी पार्टीज को, वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को, हाई कोर्ट को दोषारोप कर रहा है। क्यों दोषारोप कर रहा है? क्योंकि इतना घोटाला हुआ एजुकेशन में, जो भारतवर्ष का कभी किसी को इतना एजुकेशन में घोटाला नहीं सुना है। इतना लार्ज स्केल असिस्टेंट टीचर एंड ग्रुप सी ग्रुप डी नौकरी चला गया। क्यों उन्होंने इतना घोटाला किया? एंड सिमिलरली वो सुपर न्यूमेररी पोस्ट क्रिएट किया है। कौन किया मैडम? 2 सेकेंड, कौन किया है? वो चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल ममता बनर्जी एंड हर फुल कैबिनेट, दे पास द सुपर न्यूमेररी पोस्ट। वो जो इनवैलिड कैंडिडेट है, करप्शन करके जो लोग घूस देकर नौकरी मिला है, उसको छुपाने के लिए सुपर न्यूमेररी पोस्ट किया है। आई क्लियरली टोल्ड आवर सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया why CBI cannot interrogate the chief minister of West Bengal and their full cabinet, why CBI cannot arrest the chief minister of West Bengal।
सुमन जी, मैं आपसे एक और प्रश्न पूछ रही हूँ, सुमन जी, मैं ये फिर से पूछ रही हूँ, आपको लेटर मिला है, अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर मिला है, लेकिन अभी बोला जा रहा है कि सब कुछ खारिज कर देंगे। आपका पॉलिटिकल एफिलिएशंस है, आप किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के साथ अलाइड हैं?
नो, किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से हमको कोई लेना देना नहीं है। चीफ मिनिस्टर का एसबी आईबी है, देख लीजिए। हम किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी से बिलोंग नहीं करते। हम ओनली अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं मिला है। 6-7 ईयर हम लोग नौकरी किया है। यही हमारा ओएमआर शीट है, यही ओएमआर शीट के हमारा सिग्नेचर है। वो सिग्नेचर को फॉरेंसिक टेस्ट कीजिएगा। वो जो इन्विजिलेटर है उसका फॉरेंसिक टेस्ट कीजिएगा जी। यही तो हमारा बात है।
जी
जब दूध
जी
का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा।
ओके,
हाँ, तो
ओके,
हम लोग यही
ओके।
मांगते हैं, हम लोग वैलिड कैंडिडेट है।
ओके ओके
ऑनरेबल चीफ
ओके
मिनिस्टर,
ओके सर, मैं
नौकरी
बाकियों के
सब
पास
कीजिएगा।
जाती हूँ, मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगी। ओके ओके सुमन जी, ओके राजश्री लहरी, कम इन प्लीज। यू आर द प्रिंसिपल ऑपोजिशन राइट नाउ इन वेस्ट
थैंक यू,
बंगाल.
थैंक यू।
You have been raising these allegations, but Mamata Banerjee today has asked all these teachers to return to work because there is no termination letter that has been given to them. She has said that she will be making arrangements for all of these teachers. She has even challenged the Supreme Court and said that she doesn't care if she is put behind jail, that all of these people will be supported. How do you look at this?
Well, madam, while we are discussing this, already the West Bengal state government has appealed in the Supreme Court based on the verdict that was given that please, Honorable Supreme Court should take another look of the verdict that has been given. If this verdict has to be applied, then the entire education system of West Bengal shall, turn topsy-turvy. There are 9,487 higher secondary schools, high schools, out of which 6,952 schools are higher secondary, and of these approximate 9.5K schools, there are 78.6 lakhs of students who are studying over here. And some of these schools, I can take names, but that would take much of time, where there are 27 teachers at present, especially in the Murshidabad district mainly, which is called to be known to be the mini Pakistan in Bengal. Out of 27 students, 27 teachers, 30
No, I do
teachers
not
in
think,
one.
I do not think, no, Rajshri, I do not think this is something that is encouraged. I do not think we should be using terminologies like this. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think we should really play to the galleries with that. Let's
Which
just no,
terminologies?
mini Pakistan and all of that stuff. I think let it just stick away. Stick to the point that we are discussing, and let's just discuss that. Please go ahead, Mr.
Well,
Rajshri.
it is not that Rajarshi Lahiri is stating mini Pakistan. It is Firad Bobby Hakim, who is a minister of Trinamool Congress state government, has stated this. So I'm quoting the present minister. Okay.
Irrespective
Anyways,
of that, India is India. Every inch of India is India. Every territory of India is India. And I think I will respect every Indian living in every territory of India. So this
yeah,
kind of
that's true.
rhetoric has no space. But Rajshri Lely, please go ahead, make your point.
Some of these tier schools which have 27 teachers, 30 teachers, out of this, 25 teachers have lost their jobs as per the verdict. So there would be, some of the schools would be left with no teachers. Now let me come to the point, ma'am. 23 lakhs appeared for this particular exam, out of which 25,000 names were published to be valid names by the government, out of which, when this entire episode went into the court, the affidavit that was given by the SSC later on, when this question of valid and invalid appointees came down, SSC gave an affidavit that 8,000 of these 25,000 names published out of the 23 lakhs who appeared for the exam are fake. So when the Honorable Court asked which are the fake, which are these 8,000, this has not been stated clearly by the SSC, the School Service Commission. The Honorable Court asked that
Okay.
if that means the 17,000 left out of this 25,000, that means this you are telling that these are the valid appointees. So SSC said, no, we cannot say that these 17,000 are valid appointees too. So the court asked, that means the 23 lakhs who
All right. Okay.
appeared, does it mean that out of these 23 lakhs, we have actually left out who are actually valid appointees, received the most marks, they are not included in this
Okay.
17,000
I
also?
get your point. I get your point. All right. Okay. Okay. Asif Ansari joins us at this point. Good evening, Mr. Ansari. A very simple question. We've had on our panel right now Mr. Suman, who's a protesting teacher. He's in fact joining us from the venue where these protests are happening. You also, of course, I believe, heard the BJP spokesperson speak as well. A very simple question, Mr. Ansari. Has TMC caught itself in a position which is not just hugely embarrassing? It's hugely self-defeating. It's a self-goal. Worse than that.
Well, Sneha, I shouldn't be agree with too much with the BJP spokesperson or whatever his opinion is all about. They are minutely obsessed about any kind of issues happened in Bengal at the drop of the hat. But unfortunately, this what happened in the school scam, the SSC school service scam, that is very unfortunate. And you have seen the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself has organized today in a Netaji Indoor Stadium. She has called all the 26,000 teachers over there to talk about this. What are the precautionary measures could be taken for them for not going to happen another time, and what could be the compensations would be given to the teacher at the time of distress. Now the matter is that the CBI who has taken the investigation over there, they have classified and particularly chalk out the numbers of a student who has found the discrepant. But unfortunately, with the due respect with the Supreme Court, it is very hard to accept that how the Supreme Court, without having a second thought on a humanitarian ground, have sacked 26,000 teachers at a go. It could have been considered. It had been considered because it's an elementary school level. It's not a college or a university level teachers, but it's an elementary teachers who are going to make a foundation very strong. I think it should have been scrutinized and the
Mr.
judiciary.
Ansari, are you even hearing yourself? Mr. Ansari, I mean, you all are free to have your political lines, but are you even listening to yourself? Because it is elementary school, so what? It's ironical
No,
that this is India, sir,
no,
where
that is not ironical.
elementary level teachers are
I'm
paid
trying to,
peanuts. But
I'm just
elementary
trying to put
level
my
teachers
point.
must be paid much higher, much better, and should be super qualified.
It is not about the
Teaching
payment.
5 years old, 6
It is
years old,
not
7
about the
years old,
payment.
3 years old,
It is not
it's
about the
far,
payment,
far
nor
harder,
about
sir. These are people who should be
Sneha.
well equipped and
Sneha, it's
qualified.
not about the payment. It's not about the payment. It's not about the position. I am talking about the teachers who give a elementary and foundation to a student itself. So breaking a
And
26,000
according to
teacher
the
at a
Supreme
go,
Court,
it is going to
and
damage. It
according
is
to the
going to
Supreme Court,
damage
sir, would you
total.
agree every single thing has been wrong? The selection process is beyond repair, is what they have said. It's obnoxious the way the entire selections have happened. The Supreme Court has raised questions about the people, OMR sheets, it's raised questions. The order
Sneha ji,
speaks about how
if
the
this kind of
education panel
discrepancy is
of West
this,
Bengal has gone on to say that
the
out of
silence,
turn recruitments were
no, no,
done.
the silence
Out
of
of
the silence. No, let me
recruitments were
finish
done,
the
sir.
point. The
These are
silence of the chief minister.
appalling allegations.
No, no, I really accept what you are telling, and we are accepting the Supreme Court judgment. What my point is that our Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, uh, kept herself silent because she find the education minister, some kind of default and a manipulative way. The reason she has not agitated, being a lady who always took the bulls by the horns, but in this case she has not spoken because she find her minister some kind of discrepancy and manipulative. For his arrest, she has not raised a voice. Why she is raising a voice now? Because the judgment which has come for the 26,000 teachers who has been directly banned from and sacked from the teaching department. That was the basic concern of the chief minister because they are giving elementary education to a student. The court should have been, it is too
Very
above to
quickly,
rate
Rajshri, please
our
respond.
opinion.
I give you 30 seconds before I go to Aditya Pratap. Rajshri, very quickly respond.
As we are discussing, 313 GTA teacher recruitments have been cancelled by the Honorable High Court today itself, and the salaries have been asked to be stopped. Ma'am, मैं एक प्रश्न आपके सामने और आपके सारे दर्शकों के सामने रखना चाहूंगी कि आपने अभी प्रश्न किया ममता के बीजेपी is playing a foul to this or politics or not. The government belongs to Mamata Banerjee. The SSC belongs to the government. The SSC chairman is appointed by the government.
No, I did
If
not
there
ask
are
that
any
question at all.
corruption,
I did not ask that question at all, but you're welcome to answer that.
So if the government, the SSC is playing a foul to this entire episode, if the Mamata Banerjee's government corruption has been happening under her, directly under her rule, when nothing happens without the notice of Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, which I'm sure my friend will be agreeing, that in a zoo, even a lion cub is not born without the order of Mamata Banerjee as per the posters that are that you would get to see there,
All right.
as
Okay.
per Trinamool
Okay.
Congress only. So
Okay,
Mamata
you
Banerjee
can
does not
take
have any
political jibes, but
liability.
I don't know whether we
She
have
cannot
enough of time for
she would not
political
be having
jibes.
any liability.
No, I think
It's not
political jibes
possible.
are fair. You want to make your political jibes the way you want to. I leave that to you. Aditya Pratap, very quickly come in. Aditya Pratap, very, very scathing words from the Supreme Court. But is there a larger question that's emerging out of this? Are there big questions around recruitments, around how recruitments don't stand the test of legality, don't stand the test of scrutiny? And if you see states after states, Lokpal, Lokayukta, they're not even appointed. Whether it be BJP or the Congress or the other states, there are vacancies that have not even been filled, and Supreme Court time and again has made some very scathing observations about all of these. All of these, are they raising some larger questions?
With a saying by the Indian Army. Indian Army says we rather not have an officer than have a bad officer. Likewise, public service is a sacred institution. We rather not have a public servant than have a public servant who is tainted and corrupt. 20 years ago, when I was a teenager, I saw on the front page of Times of India how the chairman of the Punjab Public Service Commission's house was raided and 20 crore rupees upwards of cash were recovered. This shows to what extent the rot and corruption have pervaded public service in India. Supreme Court judgment is excellent. Supreme Court has said we will not hesitate to take a hardline approach and quash the selection procedure which is tainted with illegalities and violations. For example, what the Supreme Court said? Supreme Court said in the Bengal teachers case that this is a case wherein the entire selection process it has been vitiated and tainted beyond resolution. Manipulations have happened on a large scale. There has been cover up. And this is a case where the selection process is beyond repair and redemption. And then the Supreme Court has gone on to cite several illegalities, like the company which was selected for scanning and evaluating the OMR sheets, tendering, no tenders done, violating Articles 14 and 16 of Constitution of India. Then that agency subcontracts the task to another agency, which is another violation because examination is a sensitive process which requires, carefully selected, chosen entities. Then, then we are talking about destruction of OMR sheets. Candidates who do malpractices, the best thing is to destroy the evidence so that it never comes to light. And then there were no scanned mirror images also of the OMR sheets. Today, when everything is scanned and digitized, appointments are given to people who are not even there in the panel. So, Honorable Supreme Court very rightly held that if the selection process is tainted to such a large scale, it is not possible to give individual hearings to each and every candidate. The selection process has to be set aside. Look at the UP police recruitment. Lakhs of students appeared for constables, yet traces of a paper leak came. The entire selection process was quashed and set aside. Today, let us see what will be the positive impact of the Supreme Court. Let me tell you, in common public, whenever जब भी सरकारी भर्ती की नौकरी निकलती है, every person thinks, let me bribe away and get a job. I will pay 5, 10 lakh, 20 lakh rupees bribe, and then I will mint crores in my career. This is the disgusting mindset so many candidates of public service have. And worst of all, for teachers, that is why the youth of our country is getting corrupted, because the teachers who teach them are themselves chosen through a tainted process. Supreme Court has now with the strong judgment of Supreme Court, candidates who think that they can pay and bribe their way through the exam will have to think twice, because likely the entire money will go down the drain, a criminal corruption investigation will follow, and they can even get caught. Supreme Court judgment is a shot in the arm in our quest for transparency. And let me tell you, this is not a decision any elected political representative would have taken. Political representatives would have shuddered at the thought of losing
all right,
both
Aditya.
banks. The Honorable Supreme Court, as a guardian of the Constitution, has rightly passed a judgment which no other person in the establishment would have dared to pass.
Right. I think it's an important point you're making about political vote bank, and that's something I'll come to a panelist for very briefly again. But Suman Biswas, आपके पास आती हूँ. Suman Biswas, अब आगे क्या? 26,000 से ज्यादा जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, जॉब्स हैं, उनको खारिज कर दिया गया है. अब क्या?
अब आज हमारा जो ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर हम लोगों को वॉलंटियर, वो जो हम लोग वैलिड टीचर है, हम लोगों को उन्होंने बता दिया कि आप वॉलंटियर कीजिएगा स्कूल में. कितना सिंपल बात है. उन्होंने बोल दिया जो री एग्जामिनेशन. वाई री एग्जामिनेशन? ऑलरेडी हमारा जो वो क्वालिटी हम लोगों को जो क्वालिटी हम लोग दिखा दिया है. वाई री एग्जामिनेशन? अगर हमारा वो मेधा, हमारा जो मेधा में वो जो वैलिड जो जॉब, वो जॉब हम वापस करने के लिए जो कुछ भी करना चाहिए वो करने के लिए हम पूरी तैयार है. हम लोग इसलिए ये आवाज छेड़ दिया हमारा ये वैलिड कैंडिडेट को, तुम्हारा पास जो कुछ भी है तुम वो लेकर ये तुम्हारा वो जो वैलिड नौकरी उसको वापस करने के लिए तुम लोग बलिदान देने के लिए तैयार हो जाओ. क्योंकि इतना करप्शन हमारा ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर संविधान से वोट लेकर हम लोगों को पथे बैठाया, हम लोगों को भाषा दिया, हम लोगों को सर्वशांत कर दिया. इसलिए हम लोग ठान लिया है हमारा जॉब वो फिर वापस करने के लिए जो कुछ भी है. खुदीराम का बेंगल है, वो खुदीराम बसु, वो जो ब्रिटिश अमल से वो शहीद हुआ था 18 इयर्स ओल्ड. खुदीराम का बेंगल है. हम लोग तैयार है हमारा नौकरी वापस करने के लिए. हम लोग अभी भी मांग करते हैं ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर ममता बनर्जी, आप संविधान से वोट लेता है, आप आइन से ऊर्ध्व नहीं है. हमारा वैलिड, जस्ट 1 सेकंड, हमारा वैलिड लिस्ट पब्लिश कीजिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में रिव्यू कीजिए. रिव्यू हुआ है. यस.
जी सुमन जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. आपने खुल के जो कुछ बोला, देखना पड़ेगा कि आगे कैसे जाएगा. वी टोटली आउट ऑफ टाइम, बट थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस्टर अंसारी, थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस्टर Lahiri, as well as Aditya Pratap. Thank you very much for your time. This of course hasn't seen the last word yet, and remember, elections less than a year away. Thank you very much all of you for joining us. Time for a very short break. On the other side, my colleague Shreya Upadhyay brings us all the latest.